What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jose Show. Happy Thursday. I hope that everyone is enjoying this day. But anywho, let's get into the hot topics. Now let's talk about Sheryl Lee Ralph. So Sheryl Lee Ralph's finally snagging her spot on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and the Queen herself is telling us it feels downright stellar to have her work continue to shine bright after all these years in the game. Alright, so TMZ caught up with SLR at her Fab after party at the Walcott Yard in LA Wednesday, and at 68, she proved age ain't nothing but a number, especially if you stick to her golden rules for living your best, most fabulous life. Alright, so Sheryl kept the celebration rolling at the after party, handing out blessings like confetti, belting out "Nobody's Supposed to Be Here" with Deborah Cox, slicing into cake, and tearing up the dance floor with her hubby. Now this is amazing, ladies and gentlemen, that Sheryl Lee Ralph finally got a start at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, because she was long overdue for this, because she is a really good actress and she is an icon. Come on now. The woman has been in the business for almost 50 years, and let's remember that she played major roles in really good TV shows like Good Times, Instant Mom, and Moesha. Like, come on now. And by the way, she has such a good personality that a lot of people would love to have, like, really. And by the way, Sheryl Lee Ralph, she is so freaking confident at the age of 68. Like, whoa. I am so glad she has that type of confidence, because usually at those ages, I mean, these women are all like, oh my God, I'm dying. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life now, and this and that. When in reality, they shouldn't be that way. And Sheryl Lee Ralph, by the way, was all like, you know what, I'm still living it. And by the way, she really is proving it to a lot of women of color out there that as a woman of color, you can do it in the Hollywood business. As a woman of color, you can make it into the star. As a woman of color, you can actually achieve your dreams of becoming a somebody in general. And you should not be afraid to be a somebody in general. Come on now. And that right there is a really good thing that she is showing that example, because, you know, unfortunately, especially in these times, so many women of color have been feeling so discouraged into getting into the Hollywood business, and also so discouraged into doing anything else just because they feel very less just because of their color, and that's not what it should be. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that what Sheryl Lee Ralph is doing here is she is just trying to tell all of these women of color, and especially everybody in color in general, to step it up. Don't be afraid, be confident, be yourself, and that's basically it. And that's how it should be. So with all of that being said, Sheryl, you continue to do you. You continue to be impressing a bunch of people. You continue to even cause envy towards a lot of people, because I know that a lot of people out there, especially the white people out there, are envious of your achievement of getting the star at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, because unfortunately racism still exists to this day. So anywho, we love you, Sheryl, and I cannot wait to see you on another sitcom, and I cannot wait to even meet you in person one day. All right, now on to the next topic. Now let's talk about this very controversial case, the Menendez Brothers. So Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hodgman is trying to kick the can down the road in the Menendez Brothers' case, filing a last-minute motion to push back Thursday's resentencing hearing. So Hodgman filed the motion Wednesday night in the LA County Superior Court to prevent today's much-anticipated hearing from going forward, arguing the court needs time to review the California Parole Board's risk assessment report for Eric and Lyle Menendez. So as we all know, Governor Gavin Newsom ordered the parole board back in February to conduct a risk assessment of the brothers before any clemency decision could be made. Well, in Wednesday's filing obtained by TMZ, Hodgman says the parole board completed its assessment of Eric and Lyle, and the governor has invited the court to request the completed report for the resentencing hearing. So Hodgman argues the court should make every effort to obtain the report, and if more time is needed, the judge should push back the resentencing hearing, effectively punting on the decision. So Newsom plans to use the report as part of a June 13 hearing in which Eric and Lyle will each appear before the board for their individual reviews. After the hearing, Newsom will then make his decision on whether to grant clemency to the brothers. So Eric and Lyle were convicted of shooting their parents to death with shotguns in their Beverly Hills home in 1989 and were ultimately sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Alright, so despite their sentence, the brothers have been actively working the legal system in the hopes of getting released from prison, especially over the past 2 years. They filed for resentencing, requested clemency, and pushed for a new trial based on newly unearthed evidence. Okay. This is really insane. I think that the Menendez brothers need to be free because as far as what I've heard, the Menendez brothers got to shoot their parents way back in 1989 because of self-defense. Because basically what happened was that they were the victims of sexual abuse by their own father. And if you're going to be the victim of sexual abuse, you need to defend yourself. You cannot do just nothing. And of course, yes, it was very extreme that they got to murder their own parents. Now, I don't know why they ended up murdering the mother, but as to what I know why they ended up murdering the father, because the father was the one that got to sexual abuse them. And I do believe, though, that in this case, I mean, there could have been another way to defend themselves, maybe by hitting them with a bat or hitting their father with a bat, or maybe they could have ran away and they could have, I don't know, tased them, or they could have pepper sprayed them or pepper sprayed just their father, and so instead of going into that extreme measure of having to murder their own parents. But yet again, I mean, they were in a very, very pressurous situation where they were like, okay, well, this is just too much, and we've been dealing with this for so many years now of sexual abuse. We can't take it anymore. So then they went off and they ended up murdering their parents, you know, like. So it's all part of self-defense, which is the reason to why Gavin Newsom went off and now is now intervening in this whole entire case. And now he's like, okay, well, I mean, now we're going to have to find a way to really, you know, get these brothers free out of prison, because, I mean, this is just unfair that they are not getting the possibility of parole after defending themselves from a very horrific situation that they went through from their own father, you know. But yet again, I am against murder. I am highly against it because, I mean, murder is horrible. But in this case, I mean, I'm talking about self-defense here, you know? So anyways, I don't know what's going to happen, but I really think that you should free the Menendez brothers. The Menendez brothers, in my opinion, you know, are victims more than they are murderers, in my opinion, and they deserve justice after all. All right, now on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Jessica Alba. So Jessica Alba is proving she's a girl's girl through and through, clapping back at Blue Origin bashers to say their hate should be directed at President Donald Trump, not the woman who made history on this week's New Shepard rocket trip to space. So the actress kept it short and sharp on her IG story, just a bold diss slapped above a post from political strategist Ana Navarro Cardenas, who said she couldn't see how an 11-minute space flight by Lauren Sanchez, Gayle King, Katy Perry, Amanda Gwynn, Aisha Bowe, and Carrie Ann Flynn was affecting anyone's lives personally. Alright, so she urged folks to stop targeting the trailblazing woman on that rocket and start holding the real power to account, namely the US president, calling out his abuses of power that actually impact countless lives in America and abroad. So Jessica, a close pal of Lauren Sanchez, is one of the few celebs actually hailing the mission, while the likes of Olivia Munn, Olivia Wilde, and Emily Ratajkowski have torn it apart. So Gayle King wasn't having the backlash either. She clapped back at trolls, saying the money should have gone elsewhere, telling TMZ that space travel isn't happening in the place of fixing things down here on Earth. It's happening alongside other projects. Okay, so this is really interesting. I think that all of these people need to stop bashing all of these women like Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez, and the rest of these women for going up into space, because there is nothing wrong with going all the way up to space. They were simply exploring space and they were simply having a really good time, and they are really brave women in the first place to be going all the way up to space. So if the bravery of a woman is really an issue more than it is of an issue when it comes to a president that is not doing anything for our country, then I believe that we have a problem here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I mean, Trump ain't doing crap for the American people. He's just sitting there bashing people. He's just sitting there insulting people. He's just sitting there creating division and racism. And that is all while these women that are going all the way up in space, they are actually, trying to take out that stress. They are trying to, just know what it's like to be in space. They are just basically being themselves, and there is nothing wrong with doing that, okay? So we as people, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to stop being so ridiculous. Like, for Jesus' sakes. Like, oh my goodness. I remember that a lot of people were already criticizing Katy Perry because Katy Perry, as we all know, she worked with Dr. Luke recently, and Dr. Luke unfortunately has been accused of raping Kesha and of sexual abuse from Kesha and so and so. And now many people have been bashing Katy, saying that, oh yeah, Katy's going up to space, and especially Wendy's has been bashing Katy by saying that Katy should go back to space. And then Kesha went off and then she posted a photo of herself drinking a Wendy's drink, basically supporting what Wendy said towards Katy Perry, which to me was really shading, really ridiculous that Kesha would do such a thing. And that right there is just an example that really is, about hatred, about going after somebody. And to me, I am not about that stuff. So with all of that being said, if you're going to be going after someone, go after someone that's actually not doing good for us. Go after someone that is doing something hateful towards us. Don't be going after people that are simply trying to do something that are, doing something good for themselves, and that they are just having a really good time, and that's basically it. They ain't raping anybody. They ain't stealing anything. They are not hurting anyone by going all the way up to space. They are just simply going all the way up to space, and leave them alone. And that's all I have to say about this. Period. I said what I said. In the words of Nene Leakes. Okay. Now, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's lovely episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.